In this video I'll be taking you through the modification procedure from the O2NE Plus with the original oxygen sensor to the O2NE Plus with the new replacement oxygen sensor. In order to accomplish this, you will need the sensor modification procedure, a Pozi-drive screwdriver, a new replacement oxygen sensor, a 2mm drill bit, an 8 to 20mm stepped drill bit, a deburring tool, a drill or cordless drill, a hydrophobic membrane, and then for personal protective equipment we recommend using rubber gloves and a pair of goggles. First step will be to power the system down and unplug from the wall. Once powered down, remove the 4 screws at each corner of the device and remove it from the wall. It's best to work on a flat platform. Once removed and on a flat surface, we take out the 4 screws, one at each corner, that secure the lid in place using a Pozi-drive screwdriver. Don't use an electric screwdriver or some automated means because the plastic in the lid is not strong enough for an automated screwdriver. Depending on your options, you'll have several cable glands, could even just have one. What I suggest you do next is loosen the cable glands so that the wires can move freely when you remove the main printed circuit board. Flip the device over and lift the lid off. Place the lid to one side. The next step is to lift the PCB out. So I'm going to remove the display PCB, which just lifts off, and place it one side. And then I'm going to lift the main PCB out, feed the wires into the device, and flip it to one side. What I'm going to do now is unplug the oxygen sensor from the device and force it out and discard the oxygen sensor. There may also be some sponge left over once you've pulled it out. Just remove that. You should be able to peel it off with your fingers. Also, there is a grey sponge in the rear of the device. Just peel that free and discard. The next step is to fit the 2mm drill bit into your drill and create a breathing hole on the side of the device between that grommet and the hole. Remove any swarf, discard. Now fit a hydrophobic membrane over the inside of the newly drilled hole. push it flush. The next step will be to drill out the sensor orifice using the stepped drill bit. We'll be drilling down to 16 millimeters with the 8 to 20 millimeter stepped bit. What we want is a hole that is 16 millimeters wide, so that the new sensor can sit comfortably or securely within. The suggested method is to identify the 16mm step and mark it up with a permanent marker. This way you can see which step you're drilling to without overstepping. Align the drill with the device and bore. Once the hole's been bored out, with your deburring tool remove any burrs. Take the nuts off your oxygen sensor and slot the oxygen sensor into the O2NE enclosure and fit the nut back on, screwing it down hand tight. Fit the Modex connector from the oxygen sensor to pin J2 on the pressure PCB, like so. Slot the motherboard back in and gently pull the cables out and ensure that the motherboard can fit securely into the enclosure without impinging on the wires at any of the fixing points. Refit the display. Ensure that all the pins line up with their sockets. Slide them in. Check that they are fitted securely. Refit the device lid. Flip it back over. And then resecure the four corners with the fixing screws. You're only screwing into plastic. I'm applying a downward force to hold the lid closed while I tighten. Once that's done, give the cables a little bit of a pull to make sure that the slack is taken up and tighten up the glands.